The rest of the crew's coming. They're taking a little bit of a break. Did not have a really good race there, but we'll get to that. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Those of you that are here coming in, appreciate you guys here at New Mission Motorsports. Things are changing, and we're going to talk about that here tonight. We're also going to follow up on a bunch of stuff that's coming out in the NASCAR world this evening, especially today and yesterday. Some big things that are bad, some big things that are good. They keep calling it silly season, but I feel like that's what they were calling it the last couple of years. So we'll touch base on some things tonight. Hopefully my guys will come in, my friends. Excuse me for that. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Those of you that were in the race with us this last go around here, not what we normally have. I mean, we do have a lot of wrecks and stuff, but that was just long and drawn out. Ugh, crazy.
His green flag laps are long there.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here. Kevin back yet?
I don't know. I just got back.
What's that?
I don't know. I just got back.
Alright. Gotta figure out which way's up and down on this thing for volume.
Just trying to make a drink. It took me a little longer than I meant.
That way's up. Haven't officially started the podcast yet. I was just sitting here chilling, waiting, so.
Okay.
I can cut and edit it anytime. I just don't know what else to do there. Like, for those races, I'm at a loss, like, as far as what to do to mitigate some of this stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I just think there's only so much you can do. I mean, it is iRacing after all. It's not all pro drivers. That's the biggest thing. I mean, the biggest thing you can do to get rid of that is to not make it free content, but that kind of does away with what we're looking for most of the time.
Yeah, I feel like when we get bigger, and hopefully we do get bigger, please, but when we get bigger, we can start doing stuff like that. But I'm thinking about taking a stab in the dark next week and trying something, maybe not totally free content, but maybe the free car or a different car on a free track. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is you're going to get people that want to run when it's the free stuff, but people don't buy iRacing to only run the free stuff, so it's not like it's unheard of to run the paid content.
I mean, the big thing that people come on here for, and people buy it, are the A-Cup. A-Cup. Boy, that sounds bad. The A-Class cars, the Cup cars. So...
Yeah, and see, like, for me, that was the last thing I came on here for. I've been oversaturated with that and, you know, video games on consoles and stuff, and yeah, they're not iRacing, but, you know, it's one of those deals. This offered so many more cars that were different and different tracks than I'd ever seen, you know, and then when it got into dirt, obviously, but I didn't get it until it came out with dirt.
Yeah, I remember that when I posted it one year and people thought I fell for an April Fool's joke too. But no, I remember when dirt came out.
Yeah, that's right. Because they announced it on April 1st, didn't they?
Yeah, and I thought I fell for it too. And I think Kevin was actually one of them that pointed it out to me. He's like, they got you. And then like the next day, it was like, no, it's legit.
Yeah, I had seen pictures from people where they were scanning stuff, so I knew it was coming. It was just a matter of how long.
Well, I think it was last year before, they tried to say like iRacing is coming to your smartphones. And it was like, that's fake.
Yeah.
You know that one's fake. The phone can't handle that. So yeah, I guess we'll have to figure out. We got to get together at some point anyway, the three of us, and start planning for not just our 5 events for next year, but pre-races, kind of like little events moving up to it.
Yep.
So we got that coming up. Big events next year. Hopefully. I'd like to talk about our big news of the day for us, but Kevin's still not here yet. I don't know where he is. Ian is racing. He was supposed to be here, but he might not make it. That's fine. He was going to try to do this while racing.
I forgot he was coming. Well, maybe us being late will be good for him.
Also true. I messaged him, but he's racing cup cars at Fontana. So, and judging off of our race the other night, I'm sure it's pretty more difficult than he thought. What have you had anything else in iRacing this week? Anything fun?
Nah, I need to do a modified race on Friday.
A modified. They're running at Port Royal, right?
Yeah, but if you run 8 out of 12 races, you get participation credits. And right now, I'm at like 3 different races, so this will put me halfway.
Oh yeah, where's that at anyway? I forgot to where to look at that. So your account, isn't it? Or no?
I don't remember where it's at. I know I've run the past 3 races with you because we ran Charlotte,
There it is.
we ran Volusia, and we ran Weedsport.
Yep. So there we go. Race participation credit on the bottom of your profile. So yeah, I'm at the same as you. 3 of 8. Dirt late model. I've done 2 of 8. And NASCAR C Class Fix. I've done 1 of 8.
I might be 2 of 8 on late models. I don't remember. Did I run one with you before? I don't think I
think
did.
you did. I think you did one.
Okay, where is it at? My race.
Go to your profile and where it shows your license levels and all that. Scroll all the way to the bottom. And right there, race participation credit tracker. And that's where you're going to see that.
Okay, I only ran 1 week on late models. I didn't run the other one.
I remember I hit it one time. I got the credit.
I think it was oh, you mean that? Yeah, I've done it once before. But with being on here more often, it makes sense for us to do it.
Yeah, no, I've never actually focused on it, but I'm looking at it. It's really not all that bad.
No, and if you do it, you get $10. So like you do A races all the time. So
Yeah.
if you do them, you get like $7 for that.
Well, today was actually the only A one that I've done in a while.
Oh, well, you should be doing the A races
Yeah.
if you can. I mean, the problem with your A races is they take longer, but
Yeah, I mean, but if I do one, you only need 8 out of
yeah,
the 13 weeks, so
yeah.
1 a week.
That's
Same
what I
thing
mean. If
for
you're in here consistently, you can get $10 a month, or $10. You can get $40 a year, I should say.
Yeah, I need to start keeping better track of this because I've honestly never really looked at it until one day I got an alert saying I got credit for something. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was Street Stocks at Lima Land. But yeah, I gotta start watching that more. Those of you out there listening to this, check your race participation credit tracker down there. You might make money. So.
But let's face it, none of us are making money. We're all buying tracks.
Okay, so yeah, you're making money to buy tracks.
Yeah,
I could use it.
It's like real racing. You get paid at the end of the day, but you're never actually making money.
Also true.
Unless you're in NASCAR or some like national series, then you might.
It's like people that go to bingo halls. I had an ex that she'd go to bingo halls all the time. Drive me nuts. She'd spend like $50 every Thursday, $75, something like that. And then one day she came home. She's like, I won $100. It's like,
Okay,
that's
so
great. You've been gambling for months.
so I don't know if Kevin, you're not back, are you?
I don't think he's here yet.
Okay, I was just making sure he wasn't like not talking because we were, and he thought we had already started without him. So that meeting I went to tonight.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I don't know. So we talked to all these people. It sounded like they definitely came in with the idea. Well, the one running it came up with the idea that we were gonna like donate to them to have them put our name on like a fence or something, like on display there. I'm like, no. But then they were talking about like doing stuff together, like maybe they want to have some like a little racetrack set up or something for the kids around this because they're doing a community garden setup.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have flower beds for veterans for free in the first one. And then the second one, like from there on out, they're gonna do ones where like you might pay a certain amount and you can like rent a bed and you can go garden the bed in this area or something. Um, but the first one is gonna be to like, give veterans the things to, a place to grow vegetables, all that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so, I thought, okay, that's cool. So I got them some paint brushes. It was like 45 bucks, whatever. And I figured I could talk to them, see if they were interested in, promoting their business on the car, which they kind of do sound like they are. It's just confusing because, like, she definitely came at it with like, we literally met with, I don't know, about 6 people, 5 main people, and then
Yeah.
7 altogether, I guess. But the one woman that was like their PR person, basically, dude, she's like super outgoing, and it's mostly like the girl running it's kind of younger, but not like she's probably like 40s. The other ones are probably like 60s, 70s. um so the one that's like the PR person, she's like talking to me about, because I brought like my sponsorship document, and she was talking to me about that for like 20 minutes about how they're going to use that to sell like advertising or like sponsor space or donor space, whatever, on their stuff. They're going to like repurpose that if it was okay with me. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, that's a compliment to my paperwork if it's actually that good that you want to use it. And but she's talking to me. She's like, yeah, I was from North Carolina. She's like, had worked for Walmart for all these years, retired from there. So she's like, I got all these contacts and blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, I know. Who'd she say? She said Junior and um, Clint Boyer. And
Oh yeah.
so she's talking about trying to get in contact with them about doing something around here, because apparently she's into dirt track racing. A few of these people are into dirt track racing, which I'm like, what the hell? This like never happens. I never go anywhere, and people are like, oh yeah, I'm into dirt track racing.
Man, I'm sorry, I got distracted there, man. My freaking computer just wiped. Like I can't,
White.
like I still have you, but it's saying I can't reach any sites.
Oh, nice.
Like I thought for a second they were about to lose internet.
Did Ford make it?
Yeah, yeah. Look who comes in and starts talking shit.
Okay, then you can see plenty of the track from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
No,
You saw
I
that.
was all right.
You saw that photo. That shit's great.
Yeah.
See, y'all have the electric dash, or Kevin does. I don't know how to turn that on.
There's a command for. You're talking about the digital dash, or
Yeah.
yeah, it's like. God, what is it like? Alt D or
Oh,
Control?
don't
D?
ask me. I didn't do that.
It's probably like the command that I didn't know to move the black boxes around. Yeah, that one.
Well, that's Alt K. Yeah, that one.
I know, but I'm just saying I didn't know that either.
Hey, Greg, what are you drinking on over there?
This is old fashioned.
Hell yeah, old fashioned. Dude, I haven't had a good old fashioned. I grew up on those, and yes, I'm gonna say grew up on them in Wisconsin. And then I go to a bunch of places and they don't know how to make one.
I don't know how to make one myself officially, but I'm trying.
Dude, like, okay, so my grandmother a couple years ago sent me the recipe to make the mix. It took me like 4 hours from the time I cooked it, boiled it down, bottled it, put it in the fridge to chill it. Finally made myself an old fashioned. Took a sip, delicious. Went to the room somewhere, came back out. My son got a hold of it. Took a sip of it.
He
Didn't
thought it
like
was
it.
delicious too.
No,
Oh, okay.
he didn't like it, so he got up. I mean, you know Andrew. He dumped it
I
on the
poured it
floor.
out. Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, he poured it out on the ground and just said, "Nah, don't like it." And I'm like, "Damn it!"
It's only 4 hours.
Yeah,
Wait, what kind of mix did you make?
it's old fashioned mix.
That's okay. That's not a thing that I knew of. What was
Oh
old
yeah.
fashioned mix?
Oh my god, dude! It has like, I know you have to like boil down and reduce it with like sugar, oranges, cherries, Oh God, I have to look up the recipe, man. I can get it to you if you want.
Sure, I guess that's not what I thought. Like an old fashioned to me, you take. I actually made it the way you're supposed to today. Is like you take a sugar cube, you put 2 dashes of bitters on it, you muddle that, then you put the whiskey in, put ice, stir that. Once you have all that done, then you can put cherries or garnish with like an orange peel. I don't know the exact order you're supposed to do that in, but I did the orange peel first, and then you whatever you call it. I don't know. The fancy bartender people call it express the oils
Yeah,
across it, but
yeah.
whatever the technical term
Zesting
is
it.
for that. Well, not even zesting it, but
I don't know what the term is. That's what I'm
yeah,
giving it.
express it. That's what I was express the oils. That's
There
all I
you go.
know it as because I've seen it in all the YouTube videos. It sounds weird, but that's what they call it anyway. Um, but I just found sugar cubes the other day. I couldn't find them before, so I made simple syrup to put in it, and that's good too. I mean,
Oh
the
yeah,
sugar cubes a little different. I think I do like it better because it makes it kind of sweet at the end. It more develops.
dude, this stuff's delicious. Yeah, I'll have to get you the recipe. You've got pretty much all the ingredients there from off the top of my head. I'm obviously not looking at
Yeah.
it, but yeah, we had to like put it in a pan, like simmer it, boil it down. I still have a bunch of it, but yeah, it's normally like a shot of the mix, a shot of whiskey, some bitters, full cherries. Just grab maraschino cherries, drop them in, uh, and then Sprite on top of it.
Oh, okay.
And that's how. I mean, that's what they call an old fashioned Wisconsin. I mean,
I mean, the drinks definitely are a thing that vary by region, so I'm not surprised. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
I hadn't seen that one recently enough to remember it. I feel like I have seen something similar to that before.
Well, I ordered an old fashioned up in where were we? We were in New Jersey a couple years ago for a wedding, and they brought me this drink that they called an old fashioned, and it was absolutely disgusting.
Probably a gin in it or something stupid.
Oh my god, it was so much alcohol. You couldn't swallow it. You could. I mean, I did, but
All right. What's your favorite whiskey?
what day?
Well, mine is not cheap. It's probably Ardbeg Oogdal, which is like a Isle of Scotch, is the moral of the story.
Okay. I could go for a good Jameson.
That's Irish.
Yep, no Irish whiskey. That's really good.
Okay, you probably, I don't know. I feel like you would probably like smoky whiskey, but do you know if you've had it?
I have no idea.
Okay, then I couldn't tell you.
I'm a creature of habit. I don't like to change too much because then, especially when it comes to like whiskeys and stuff like that, you buy a bottle for $20 and you don't like it. Well, you're stuck with a $20 bottle of or whatever, 40, 50, $60.
I was gonna say $20. That'd be nice if that's all it was.
Well, if you get the cheap stuff,
Yeah, I have expensive taste. It's a problem.
I like Crown. That's pretty much my go-to.
see,
Crown, Coke, or Crown and Pepsi.
I hate to admit it, but Crown Apple in Coke is fantastic to me.
See, I have never found a whiskey that I like with Coke. I love Coke, the drink.
Yep,
But
we got it.
I think I should clarify. It seemed like I paused there for a second.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
Now I need a picture of you snorting something to put in the
yeah,
pocket.
but yeah, there's your intro. But
I love. Yeah.
yeah, I've never found whiskey or
Crown
rum
and Coke,
either one.
man, is like my thing. I love it. You know,
Oh, it's
I
Yeah,
fantastic.
got I got 2 bottles of Crown in the freezer at all times, and I like it cold.
Oh yeah.
I've got one bottle of Crown, and it's called Blender's Mash.
Yeah, I
Blender.
mean, there's a lot of different Crowns now. I mean, it's like Oreos or or Coke. There's so many
Yeah.
different flavors now, and I'll tell you this though. I was at a NASCAR race not too long ago. I think when we went to Dover, I got they sell it in like 12-ounce cans now at the racetracks.
Yeah, the
Did
Crown.
not like it. Did not like it. It was
Nah,
like a Crown and Coke mix. Yeah, it wasn't good.
every time I've heard of people talk about those like pre-mixed drinks in cans, they're awful.
Yeah, I think I drank like a quarter of it and
Yeah.
dumped it.
on a cold day, and I'm not afraid to admit this, but like but I'm not. I mean, it's just on a cold day when you're thirsty and you want something a little bit, get you a little buzz. Cut the grass and maybe chug down a can of that twisted tea. It's like
Yeah.
hydrating, man. And it's good.
Yeah, those are good. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't get past like the malt liquor flavor that you get on like the aftertaste from that.
Yeah. So my wife really likes the Crown Royal Apple with ginger ale.
Ooh,
No,
I
I
bet
have
that's
heard
good.
of that.
She lives by that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's good.
I didn't know you guys were drinkers at all.
Sometimes I'm not a big drinker, and I'm not.
I
I haven't.
He's like,
I like Crown, so I stick with it.
how do you
I
think
don't.
I drive on dirt
Buy
tracks?
that.
nah, the honestly, I decided I was gonna make simple syrup finally, and started making old fashions because I saw you drinking during the podcast, and I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. It'll be like a one time a week I make myself a drink and
Every
actually
week.
use some of this whiskey that I do.
Well, I mean, it goes back to. I mean, I enjoy sipping on it, and most of the time I'm just on ice or neat, something like that.
Yeah,
But I mean, we've talked about it before. When I first was looking at starting this channel, I was thinking about doing something called Whiskey and Tires.
yeah.
It'd be kind of interesting to implement that somehow into this. I mean, but at the same time, my concern is I don't want to condone
Drinking and driving.
drinking and driving or underage drinking or anything like that because we are a new
Yeah.
channel, and it's like, I mean, we're new.
I mean, alcohol to me is really
Personal choice, really.
no. What I was gonna go way worse. I was gonna say it's a pandemic, if you will. It's a positive thing if you can control it, but there's too many people in the world that can't control it and
Also true.
have go out and kill people, and it's just so.
Yeah, I
Well, for
mean,
It's a hard thing to bring into you know your sport or whatever.
yeah.
You just gotta and have the right message. It's a
Yeah.
hard thing to compare those two.
Go ahead, Greg.
I was just gonna say that when I was 7, my parents and I got hit head on by a drunk driver, and it just about killed my mom. So
Yeah.
yeah,
See?
I'm definitely not a proponent of it. But I drink. Neither of my parents drank before that, really, or after that. My mom would have. Surprisingly enough, my mom, the one that got hurt, she she would sometimes get like a mudslide, but that's like the most alcohol she'd drink.
Oh my God, mudslides! I haven't seen them in years. I had a friend of mine. I mean, I don't know if I ever told you about him, Kevin, but anyway, he he would have a mudslide before morning PT, before a run. Like, I couldn't
That's
figure
awesome.
it out. Like
He doesn't have a problem.
Well, no, well, he doesn't now. I mean, I'll tell you later why, but we don't want to get
Yeah, I
into
got
that
you.
on this one.
Oh,
But,
you're good. Yeah.
no, he would. Yeah, I remember one day I got into the barracks and he was sitting there in the barracks, smoking a Marlboro Red, sitting on the side of his bed. And it was before I had gotten married, before I started to live off post, but I maintained a barracks room. I get in there and he's sitting there smoking and got a drink in his hand. He's like, Corey, what's our run today? And I was like, dude, I think we're doing about like 5 or 6 miles today. And he's like, fuck. So he takes a big chug of mudslide and sitting there hitting a cigarette. I'm like, dude, you got issues. Love that dude to death, though, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to. I was a platoon sergeant for a while. I had to kick a dude out for alcohol, and it sucks because I don't know. I care about people, so I don't want to. I don't want to get rid of someone,
Yeah.
But like his last thing he did is he like popped a squat in the barracks hallway and just left a turd for everybody to smell and look at. And that we went to the battalion commander, and it was just a mess, man.
Yeah, I think that one kind of forced your hand a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't. There's nothing I could do at that point. It was just out of my hands. But
He just took a shit in the barracks?
yeah, he was drunk, and he just pulled his pants down. Everybody was out, everybody's out in the barracks hallway bullshitting, drinking, and having a good time. And this joker just whoop takes a shit right there in the middle of the floor.
Oh
So,
God, I miss the Army.
and he was a good dude, man. You know, like he just couldn't
That's
deal with his
great.
alcohol, so he was late a lot because he drank the night before, and you know, so but he was a good kid, you know, and I think he was salvageable if we could have got him past that, you know, but and I hope to God he's doing okay today, you know, but
Yeah,
yeah, he didn't last, you know, he didn't make it through his first 4 years.
we had a female just like that. Not what? No, it wasn't my last duty station.
Even better.
She was in my platoon, or she was in my squad, excuse me. But I was acting squad leader at the time. I was actually just a corporal at the time, and I was at home, and the CQ called me. Obviously, I'm not going to give her name out here, but they were like, "Hey, Corporal Harrigus." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, they were like, "Hey, we got your soldier handcuffed down in the lobby." I'm like, "Excuse me." And what it was, she already had a problem. She had multiple issues. She was already looking at getting out anyway for a bunch of stuff that I don't need to put on here. You guys would probably throw up if I told you everything. Uh, but apparently people were calling the CQ desk saying that there's a female naked in the hall pounding on doors. And he said that when he went up there to stop her, he was like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "I want some dick." And
those are the best ones.
it was
Oh no, wait. Oh wait, I
great.
gotta look. Hold on, I didn't mean to say that out
Go.
loud. No.
Well,
You
she
meant
was
to say
drunk.
inside.
What's that?
Kevin meant to say that in his head.
Oh
Yeah,
man. He's like, "Where is she at?"
man. I'll tell you.
Idaho.
Okay, so we're doing stories now, right? So
Well, yeah, yeah.
let me do one more. So I'm a platoon sergeant, right? I get a call at 2 in the morning from my first sergeant. He's like, "Hey, Sergeant G, you need to take your ass down to the MP station and get this guy and bring him to the freaking barracks." I'm like, "Okay."
It's always the
So
MP
I
station.
go, yeah, on base. So this guy was getting ready to deploy. Well, he wasn't deploying. He was being transferred to Kuwait. He was going to be on a ship over there, one of the army boats. So, like the weekend before, he goes out with his friends. He gets drunk. He goes to McDonald's, and some dude walks up to him and says, "Hey man, you want to buy some crack?" And he's like, "Yeah." So the guy gives him a little bag with a little crack rock in it. He gives the guy $20 and he takes it. And so now he lives on base in the barracks. So he's driving back to the base. He has to go through the front gate, and he starts to get a guilty conscience. So he pulls over to the inspection area. When you go onto an army base, there's inspection tents for people that don't have an ID. So anyway, he goes to the inspection area. He rolls the window down and he says, "I'm drunk and I have crack cocaine in my center console." So they arrest him.
Oh my god.
The dumbass bought soap.
What?
He didn't even get charged for cocaine because he bought soap.
Okay,
So yeah.
so I got an idea. If you guys want to implement this, each
Wait,
week.
are we gonna sell soap? Oh,
No, no,
okay,
yeah,
never mind.
we're gonna sell soap.
Yeah, we're gonna get soap. We're gonna get donations for soap.
Yes, we're gonna put our logo on it too, just to make sure they know who sold them the illegal soap.
Yeah.
But I have tons of stories, especially being an MP.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Oh, I'm sure you do.
one
Yeah.
story a week we should do. And I'm telling you, some of them are grotesque, some of them are fucked up. They're all hilarious in a way. But
Well,
I'm
they're
sure
hilarious 20 years later. You know, like that shit wasn't hilarious when it happened. I wanted to beat his ass. It was two
Oh
o'clock in the
yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, me being the MP though, it wasn't my soldiers most of the time. And or family members, which obviously I'll never give names or anything like that.
Well, nah, of course
But
not.
I
Yeah.
have some crazy fucking stories, dude, that are I, we're all gonna die as a society. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people are worried that we're fucked up now, and it's like, dude, y'all, you guys didn't meet these people. So okay, yes, we were telling stories. Greg, you got a story?
No,
He's
not
like,
really. I was not in any of those crazy situations.
oh man. So I'm gonna
Bless
start.
you.
I'm gonna start
Thank
doing a
God.
story a week. Uh, I guess we move on to the big topic for us. Change of banner, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
I mean, since I started this channel, we've been doing donations and subscriptions going to the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association, and due to some circumstances, we've moved on to helping out the 1111 Veterans Project, and it's going to be going directly, as of this moment, 37 days left, Master Sergeant Crystal Stuckey of the 1111 Veterans Project. Give you a little background information on her. All right. So this is what I want to do. Is like our subscriptions, donations, and stuff go to a good cause. That's what we're trying to do. We're still trying to take care of soldiers. My best time in the Army was when I was a squad leader and platoon sergeant, taking care of soldiers, and I miss it. So here's Master Sergeant Stuckey's story. All right, she was misdiagnosed for almost 2 years and passed away from a curable condition 5 years ago, leaving behind her 4 kids and husband, who is also a veteran. Excuse me. As the family still waits a resolution from the DoD, Colin Garrett's 1111 Veteran Project is crowdfunding to help the family expenses. Please support and share. So now, Kevin, Greg, we are focus based now. We have a direct person or an organization that we're doing this for.
Yeah, that's really important. I think when you put a face and a name on something, it just kind of brings it home. This is the real deal.
Yeah.
This isn't just some organization that's out there. What are they going to do with the money? Whatever. No, this money's going to a family that needs it. That college for the kids. I mean, just who knows? The ways they can use this money to help that family. So it's definitely a worthwhile cause.
Yeah. As of today, my cars are all going to carry the 1111 Veterans Project logo on the cars. I'm going to put it on the stream. I feel really good about it. I'm glad you guys are doing this with me. This is just the beginning. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. So
Yeah, this is going to lead to more, in better ways that we can help veteran communities.
yeah.
So
Greg, you still on board?
Yeah. No, I'm here for it all.
Dude, Greg, I gotta tell you, man, you've been instrumental. I thank you for everything that you've been doing in the background, especially with the Twitch stuff.
Like I said, I enjoy helping with it, and I've had some slow time here lately with work that it's given me a little bit of background time to work on a few things here or there, and still get all my stuff done. So it's not been it's not like I'm losing focus on work or anything, and just making my day worthwhile a little bit.
So here's a disclaimer, and this is the part that I really worry about, guys. Those of you listening, if you really want to help this family, you can donate directly, which I'm going to put the link in the description. Please, I mean, they're more important than we are, but if you're willing to, please donate it to us, for us to give it to them, and we can start tagging people's names or whatever to it. That's fine, but it would also help us grow as a channel as well, and we can start doing more. That's my hope. You know what I mean?
Well, and even with that, if you don't want to donate directly to us, then when you donate to them, make sure if you have a message or something that you put in there that you're doing it because of our advertising it, whatever you want to put in there, but mention us in some manner, because we're looking at some sort of partnership here, and the more reliable resources that we can show them as far as what we bring to the table, the more it helps us in the long run. And it benefits everybody that's involved to do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we want to help them, we want us to be able to grow too, so we can help more. I mean, we have a good crew here.
yeah, and that's the bottom line is,
Yeah.
If we can grow, it's just going to help veterans all around.
Exactly.
More,
I mean, the more money we can bring in, the more we can send out to people that need it, and that's, at the end of the day, that's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, to me, and I understand people that have their hesitation with donating to us, because I mean, you look at streams, and this is where I had a internal battle with myself a little bit, watching people's streams, and you see on there, donate to me for so I can buy a new microphone, donate to me so I can buy a new blah 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 blah. Which I understand that you're providing an entertainment, you're trying to pull in money to provide that entertainment, especially if you've got a lot of subscribers and everything. It's hard to donate to people on a whim for if they say they're doing something good. Like, are they really? And I'm not pocketing this, folks. I'm not.
Yeah, we're not. This is all donations, you know.
Yeah.
So, that's where we want to be. That's what we want to do, and we want help from whoever can help us. So,
the biggest issue that we have at the moment is the Twitch donations. We have to hit $100 all time to be able to withdraw that to to donate that. So we're creeping in on that goal, but it's kind of a separate goal to everything else. In the meantime, when the time comes, we'll donate what it takes, and then we'll get the Twitch money out later whenever we can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough part, because we're still kind of a new channel. Twitch only allows us to pull out money once you hit that $100, so it's a pain. Little stuff we got to deal with on this end, but
I'm very curious to see if that's like $100 one time, or if that's going to be every time. Like, you can't pull it out until you're totaled $100 to pull out.
that's actually something good to look into, because I know a lot of these the fundraisers that they're doing are almost like limited time, because we've got 37 days left for Master Sergeant Stokey and her family, which next week I'm hoping for a big gain in publicity on this, because we are sponsoring the Triple Threat race next Friday night, and it's going to be the Master Sergeant Stokey 90, which is the 90-minute for the Triple Threat. They already have the link and everything like that. Like, they're set up. We're hoping to have them here with us next week. Haven't heard yet. They keep kind of dropping the ball on returning my calls, and well, not calls.
oh, that might be your answer.
Well, no, they keep saying that they're interested, and
Okay.
but they're just not solidifying.
Sometimes when you can't reach them, that's the answer.
No. Yeah, I get that, but no, we've had multiple conversations, and it's like, so you guys
All
coming
right,
or not?
very
And they're
cool.
like, well, we don't know. And it's like, well, I kind of need to know, so I'm hoping to get that set by at least Monday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were looking at them to broadcast our 5 events next year, but they're not able to do that because it's too much of a block. They don't like to do long races, so, which is weird, because they do the freaking Triple Threat one.
Yeah, but we're talking like 3-hour races.
Long, yeah. So, anyway, that's some behind the scenes stuff.
Yep.
What do you guys got this week? Anything?
So here's something totally out of left field. I was watching a documentary today on this amusement park in New Orleans, right? I just lost my train of thought, but it was called like Jazz Town or something like that. And the reason, so it was built in like 2000. In 2002, it was sold to Six Flags, and then in 2005, Katrina hit. Right?
Oh, of course.
Katrina wiped it out.
Yeah.
Six Flags said, we're not coming back. They came and took some of their roller coasters out of there and some of their equipment. And I mean, the water was like, up to the middle of the door on all the buildings in this amusement park, so they just said, too much money, we're out. So they quit. So, and since then it's been abandoned until today. And I'm trying to figure out why I get so sad. Not like sad crying, but like I just feel bad for an amusement park when it's closed. And they show the grass growing inside the buildings or everywhere, and trees on the roller coasters, and it's like, man, that is just sad. And I don't know, do y'all feel that way when you see something like that, or I don't know?
Well, I mean, look at Chernobyl. Like, that's one of the popular pictures from Chernobyl, is that abandoned park there, and eventually this one's going to look the same,
Yeah, it's just a weird, sad, abandoned buildings or I don't know. It just hits me a weird way when I see that stuff, and it's just like, man, like wish I had the money to go in and fix that up. Just it's crazy.
Well, and it's one of those things that's somebody's livelihood that they were trying to make happen, and it's just
Yeah,
it is sad to see somebody's dreams get, I mean, not necessarily fail, but they have those issues, whatever that may be. It's just it's a struggle, and it I think it drives home the reality that you can have everything going right and it can still all go wrong all at once. And like I said, it's not to say that they didn't benefit from it in the long run, come up with something better in the end, but let's face it, everybody wants to say that everything will turn around better. Sometimes that's true, sometimes I don't. I mean, it's like I'd like to think it's true, but it could take years sometimes for that kind of thing to come around.
yeah, and I mean to bring it back to our lane a little bit, you can look at racetracks. Same thing. But the funny thing is, I don't think about the people that created it, and I don't think about the people that were going there. It's like I look at the park or the racetrack almost as like a person, and I feel bad for that racetrack, not for the people that visit it, not for the, I don't know, it's just a weird way that I don't know, put myself in it or
It has no
um
purpose. I
yeah,
mean,
and it's just sad, like
yeah.
man, all these racetracks that have grass growing in them, it's just sad to look at. I don't know, man, but I thought it just kind of hit me weird, so thought it might be cool to kind of bring it up and discuss it a little bit.
'Cause I know racetracks. That's a tough one because I would give anything to go back to the racetrack that I grew up around a lot, and it was Hales Corners in Wisconsin.
Oh, I thought it was the Coliseum over there in Rome.
Yes, I'm that old. You're older than me. Nice try. No, but like Hales Corners Speedway now, it was an old dirt track back in the '80s, early '90s. Fuck, I think it closed down in '98. I might be wrong there.
Is it still there?
It's a parking lot for Menards.
Yeah, see,
It's
that's
gone.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's sad too,
yeah,
but it's a little different.
yeah,
Yeah, but that sucks.
yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like you got all those shared memories, and we've had this discussion before between us and like people that build up housing developments around the racetracks is probably one of the biggest killers of a racetrack. So that and attendance, but
Yeah, yeah. I used to have so I'm 48. I'll be 49 in November, and I used to have this want to go back to places that I grew up at. So I was born in Maine. I lived there till I was 7, and then my mom and married my stepdad, and he was in the army. So we were at Fort Bragg for a while, and then Germany. And God, I would love to go back to Germany, right?
oh yeah,
Probably. So we're talking. I was um, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old at Fort Bragg, like 6 years, and I went back recently with my brother because he was obviously there too, and we went back to some of the old stomping grounds, and it's so different. It just ruined my memory of what was there.
yeah.
So I'm almost like I don't even want to go back and see it anymore because it's changed so much. I'd rather just have my memory. So I'm kind of, as I'm getting older, I'm changing the way that I want to do that.
That's
Um,
funny because I've had a lot of those thoughts too.
Yeah, because you really do want to go back and
Yeah.
see that. I mean, as you get older, you start to, and you could say it was sad again. We went back to Fort Bragg, and there's a pool, Allen Pool, I used to go to all the time as a kid. My mom would drop me off. I'd swim all day, and then she'd pick me up at the end of the day and bring me home. And we went to see that, and it's an empty pool. There's trees growing in it. It's just like,
I mean,
why? You know?
not just that. I mean, there's like, okay, I'm jealous of World War II vets that were able to go to places like Omaha Beach and stuff like that. Like these old
What do you
battlegrounds.
mean? You mean the second time or the first time they went?
Well, like when D-Day.
Like you're jealous of D-Day?
No, I'm jealous that they can go back.
Ah, yeah, okay, that's what I was trying to
So
get at.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
are
I'm
we?
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry if that came out wrong.
no,
But there are
my brain.
places like, and people might think I'm crazy for this, but there are places that I wish I could go visit in Iraq just to see it again. But it's
Of
not
course.
possible. Like there's different locations that have a lot of meaning to me that I'll never see again.
Well, how possible was it for them to go back to where D-Day was? You know,
Not yeah.
now that was France, so a little different.
Yeah, I mean,
But
completely
yeah,
different.
you know what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Like it probably took a little time before it was cool enough for them to go back and see. But so I'd say honestly, in your lifetime, I think you'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
I do. I think tourism. They're gonna put a Disney World right in Baghdad. It's gonna be great.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if the people that live there want to be there, so
No.
definitely not sure if people want to go back to visit.
Build a Disney there.
Oh, it's gonna be such a nice water park. It's gonna be great.
Here's a question I bring to the table as a non-veteran. What do you guys think of when you hear a conflict about to start, and then you hear about all these people that just went on vacation to this country that's in turmoil that we're about to go to war with, and then they get made a prisoner of war or something because they're in this country when we start, right before we start a war. Like, what's your opinion on that?
Ooh.
They're silly. I
Yeah.
So if let's say we're American, right? And like I don't want to visit Russia right now,
No.
or Ukraine, either one. But um, but see, so I, vacation one thing, but there's a lot of Americans that try to go to these places ahead of a war and um, like civilians, not military, and do humanitarian stuff. They try to help and
Yeah.
doctors and teachers and nurses and construction people and and then they end up getting caught up in some of this stuff and captured or killed or and to each their own.
Yeah,
Um,
and
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like you said, it's
yeah, it's
understandable. Like that's what you're gonna try to go for.
yeah. If you're going like let's say like China right now. Let's just or Taiwan or I'm gonna go on vacation. I'm gonna go to China. I want to go to Hong Kong or I want to go to Taiwan. I don't know. I don't think I would. It's just too. You never know when something's gonna kick off over there, right? I mean, I don't think it's imminent, but you never want to become that pawn in the game, right? So just go
Right.
somewhere else. Go to Colombia or something instead.
Somewhere where it's peaceful between
Yeah,
us and them.
Venezuela.
Yeah. I mean, it's just God. I'd rather go to some peaceful countries than New York in our own country. So. Oh my God.
Sometimes, yeah.
Half the shit that goes on. I mean, again, I don't want to get into politics in here, but it's just safety is safety regardless of where you go. And when you see a spike in issues, try to avoid it, regardless if it's the United States or another country. Like,
Yeah.
I'm with you, Kevin. Like, and Allison's the same way. If we ever have the opportunity, we're moving our asses back to Germany. But
Yeah.
they still don't really like Americans over there. I'm not going to say they hate Americans. I'm not. I'm not saying that right now. But there's still the slight animosity, and I think a lot of it is how American people act in public. I mean, we go over there, and I'm trying not to be an ass here, but you're sending brand new soldiers, 18 years old, over there and allowing them to drink. What do you think happens? We look like idiots.
Well, yeah. I mean, and let's be real. The military is not the
No,
top class people in the United
no,
States. I joined because I had very little options
yeah,
because I didn't give a shit in high school, and most of the people in the army receive these students that are, they care about something, and the army gives them a way to make some money, and so um, and you take those kids, those 18-year-olds, and you take them out of their house for the first time in their life and you put them in basic training where every second of every day is told to them what they're going to do for 2 months
Yep.
And then they go to some other school where it's damn near as strict, and for some it's as strict. And then you take them out of that and you put them in a unit, and they're fucking free. Do
Yep.
whatever they want. Nobody's once you get off of work. Oh, I'll see you in the morning. That's it. Nobody's checking on you. I'm not making sure you're in bed at night. And they just go. It's the first really chance at freedom where nobody's worried about them or checking on them, and that causes trouble.
I mean, we had
And in another country, it looks horrible.
an E5 over there, and I made the mistake too. Like I thought one beer would be a beer, and no, their beer's different. I'll just tell you that right now.
Well, first of all, it's like 60 ounces.
Woo,
So
yeah. But we had a guy over there, and he was a E5, I think at the time, a sergeant, and he was an angry drunk, and he broke a door that was nearly 2,000 years old in Grafenwehr.
oh wow, yeah, that's a good move there.
Yeah, you want to
Just
talk about a bad
super
thing.
glue, a
Yeah.
little super glue,
Yeah,
super glue, Elmer's glue,
on a door
rubber
that's
cement,
like
rubber
10
cement.
times older than our country.
Yeah, it's all good.
Well,
So they say in America, 100 years is a long time. In Europe, 100 years is nothing.
well, yeah. I mean, our history is just
But in Europe, 100 miles is a long way, and in the United States, it's not.
also true.
100 miles is very short.
That's an
In
interesting. I've
Europe,
never heard that before.
yeah, you go 100 miles in Europe, you're in another country.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they speak in a different language. They used to use different currency. Now they're all in the same one. But anyway.
Well, we really haven't talked racing at all yet. I mean, it's a big week for racing too.
Is there racing?
Well, I mean,
What's been going on?
Well, yeah. We can tell jokes all day. I'm game for that. But I mean, the one thing I do want to touch on a bit, Jordan Anderson. I mean, I know you guys saw the video. He's okay.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was the only part of the races I watched this weekend. I was watching while I was at lunch on Saturday.
Thank God.
That Joker was getting out of that car no matter where it was. He didn't care. If he was in the middle of the track, he was getting out and he's going to get run over.
Yeah.
I mean, he did care a little bit because he was all the way out of the car just about, and then he got back in because he saw he was going to hit the fence.
Yeah.
He was hanging out of the truck still when he hit the wall. I mean, it was.
Oh, I'm sure.
Second-degree burns on his neck, face. I'm trying to find it here. Knees.
Yeah, and the thing that I'm curious about with that, I don't know. I mean, I haven't tested it myself, but I know what the specs are. The specs are supposed to be 10 seconds for your suit and 3 seconds for Nomex underwear.
Well, that only sounds like 13 seconds.
Yeah, but I looked at it from the time he caught on fire, and I really didn't think it was 13 seconds. Not as quickly as he got out of the truck.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure he didn't do anything wrong as far as the safety equipment. I'm just curious if that means the safety equipment met its standard or not.
Well, I'm curious.
Right. So is that against what? Any burns? Third degree, second degree? I don't know.
I'll look right now.
And is it direct fire on your leg? Or is it just like heat, or you know what I mean? Like there could be a lot of kind of parameters in there.
I mean, he was basically on fire. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
the fuel
I
line
can't
came
think of
loose.
a worse pain. I don't think there's. I don't know. I mean, I haven't experienced a whole bunch of pains in my life, but I feel like fire is one that we as human beings cannot stand.
Well, they kept it off camera too, but a lot of people were upset about the response. Again, I mean, the week before we had an issue where the response with Cody Ware took forever. Like where were you guys at? And then here he was laying on the ground behind the truck. I sympathize a little bit more with NASCAR in this one because it's a 2.66 mile track.
I mean, it's Talladega. Yeah,
It's
I mean,
gonna take
you
more
could be a
time.
mile away from the guy,
But yeah, I mean,
So,
I got the video up here. I'm watching the video now, and yeah, he's on the ground for a good 10 seconds almost before they even get to him, and they're walking.
Yeah.
That bothers me. You're walking.
Yeah, that's an issue for sure.
Yeah.
So the spec is timed to second degree burns. So it's the
Okay.
13 seconds is to second degree burns. So yeah, I don't. It's a little
Yeah.
confusing to me. A little
Yeah.
as a driver.
Okay.
Well,
So
let me time it right now. Let me see if I can. While you're doing that, see if I can get.
1001,
Yeah,
1002.
I didn't do that, but I do know
Let's see.
when we timed the. I don't know if y'all saw the sprint car wreck at Port Royal a couple weeks ago where the guy was on fire.
I feel like we talked about it, or you showed it to us, or sent it to us, or something.
I think
Yeah,
I sent it to you
we
on
discussed it.
Facebook.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
discussed it. Yeah.
yeah, I think it was off the podcast, but um, yeah, that was over 13 seconds. So like I knew that guy was gonna get burned, but
Right. Yeah.
I really didn't think that this guy was 13 seconds. But I mean, it could have been.
I'm counting it now. I had to
I'll
stop
tell
the
you what,
video.
man. People were jumping out of the World Trade Center when that stuff was on fire, and that was burning. I don't know how hot enough to melt metal. So um, I think the human body, and we just can't stand that stuff. I can't imagine being burned at the stake or something like that. That's got to be just
Uh,
the most. You can't get away from it. You can't. Oh, it's got to be the worst.
the only benefit to being burned by fire is after a certain period of time it burns all your nerve endings off. But
I'm sure that feels good. Yeah.
So,
you know,
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
okay, real quick, here's an update for you on the time. When the
60.
camera got to him, his car was already on fire. All right, so he was already burning. From the time the camera got onto him to the time that he got out was 16 seconds,
Okay,
according to the video timer. So he could have been on fire for Lord knows, so it's 16 plus however before. So I mean, he got burned up.
Yeah, I mean that's
I'm glad to know that because it makes me feel a little better as my safety equipment should meet the specs that it says it meets.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, from 16 seconds from camera to him getting out. So, but he did release a statement saying that he's fine. He's got second degree calls. I'm sorry, I'm reading this. Second degree burns. He's been at home now. I don't think he'll be racing for a minute. No update on that yet.
Yeah, he's probably. I mean, I don't know how many races they have left.
It wouldn't be worth it. Just
Yeah.
I mean, he's a young guy too, and Larry Mack. I'm surprised to see he's still working a bit. I mean, I get it, but I mean that's his daughter's husband. So.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh yeah. He married Larry Mack's daughter, I think last year. Jordan Anderson's one that I follow quite a bit because I appreciate his mentality and the fact that he built his team pretty much, and so he could race, and now he owns a team. He's like one of those old people, old style where you build it and bring it, rather than major corporation.
Yep, that's cool. So this weekend is the Roval.
I will be there.
Nice, man. And this is the third race, right? This is a clinch race or a.
This is a cutoff race.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right.
I will not be streaming Monday. Have my father-in-law and I are going to the race on Sunday, and then he is staying until Tuesday. So I will be
cool
with him and my wife. And my wife only has like one class that day, so.
So William Byron got a 25-point penalty for we discussed it last weekend or last Wednesday
from Charlotte. Yeah.
Yep. So have you heard anything on
Texas,
the appeal?
Have not heard anything on the appeal, and I'm sorry.
Because this weekend, no, you're good. This weekend at Talladega, Rick Hendrick spoke on it, and he said they appealed it because why didn't they do something during the race? They could have just moved him to the back, and he feels like a 25-point penalty was too harsh. So we'll see if they reduce it or, because that's in the playoffs, it killed him. He's 10th in points now. He's,
I agree. Like, the officiating has been shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just.
So it'll be just kind of interesting to see if the appeal has gone through yet, but
I don't know if it falls on officiating or the broadcast crew, but I found it very disappointing that twice, I think, and we discussed it before, twice for us to see something that happened on track, you had to go to these low quality, low detail cameras, and it's like you should still be able to have static cams that cover something with good detail.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many cameras they have around the whole track, and what the broadcast is talking about at the time, and do they take a break during a caution? I don't know. I don't know what all those answers are.
Yeah, it's only a mile and a half though. You guys make enough
Yeah,
money to fucking pay for a camera. I'm sorry. Good grief.
says the guy not paying for the cameras.
Well, you sponsor my shit, and I'll give you a camera.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so his appeal will be heard tomorrow. Just
Okay.
So you know. Yep.
Well, I mean, okay. So you saw what happened with the 4 team this week.
Yeah. They altered a part or something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we saw they got penalized, but we don't know what the heck they did yet.
We don't know the part. We probably never will, honestly.
We know what they did. We just don't know what they did it to.
Yeah. No, we probably won't know the full detail of it. So.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up an interesting point though. Like, oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, never mind. Scratch that. We're done with it. Something just hit my mind. I don't want to make myself sound stupid.
Too many jokes right there. I won't say anything.
Shut up. No, what I was going to say was somebody brought up something that made a lot of sense, but now that I think about it, with him having 2 previous wins, that car would have been fully inspected. If he would have been cheating back then, they would have known it. Somebody said something, it's like, it's interesting that he had no speed or he wasn't competitive, and then all of a sudden 2 races back to back you win, you're in, now all of a sudden you get caught cheating. And it's like, for one, we don't know what happened, so did he actually do it intentionally or not? Is there intent? And 2, it just clicked with me, duh, this car would have been top to bottom looked at. They would have caught it back then.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what they do in those inspections. If they look at every single piece, maybe they do. I have no idea.
Greg,
or
you got insight on that?
Maybe they did, and maybe somebody missed it back then. I don't know. But one little part is going to win you races. I don't know. Depends what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This whole new car thing's been so screwy, and then they start getting into this whole deal of, well, the car's got problems, so we need to fix this, we need to fix that, and obviously you're not allowed to touch stuff, but at the end of the day, is this something that they're gonna approve later on? They're just gonna penalize because you didn't ask first?
Yeah. See?
Yeah, right. Maybe.
Well, I mean, it's just, and going back to the car a bit, like, there's so much criticism about the car, which I totally understand, but at least we're seeing that NASCAR is working on the cars. They're not going to be perfect right away. I kind of have an issue with, I understand where Brandon Gaughan was coming from this week, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you don't sit in the cars.
What did he say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So he's basically called people out, and I'll find it here so I can get you the exact details. But he basically said, he's like, these cars are not hitting as hard. It's not as bad as they're saying it is. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's just being, not verbatim, I can't think of the word right now, but he's like basically just calling everybody a little bitch. And it's like, dude, you're not in these cars. You haven't experienced wreck. Even if you have sit in the cars, it's 2 people that have had 2 similar wrecks to the rear end.
Yeah, and why is he commenting on it?
Exactly. It's like, dude, just stop.
Stay in Xfinity.
Exactly.
Like, I get it. You drive the other cars once in a while. You're a good driver. I got it. But that's something 6-time Cup starting driver doesn't need to say.
I mean, yeah.
Let the Denny Hamlins and the Kevin Harvicks do their job and advocate for the drivers.
That'd be like me going and be like, yeah, so I drive a Jeep Wrangler 4-door, so I basically can tell Greg how to run his 602 crate. He doesn't know how.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, come on.
Yeah, I mean, and he just, he doesn't have the experience to.
No.
Neither do I, by the way. But
And Greg,
I
I'm
don't
sure it
feel
does
like he
happen.
does.
I've legit had a guy comment on a YouTube video before saying, if you want to get that car around the track faster, you'll let me drive it.
Yeah, and he probably has never
Yeah.
stepped into a car before.
I have no idea who he is or anything. No contacts whatsoever. That's just the comment he posted on a video.
Well, I've had a similar situation like that with iRacing. When I went to college up in New York, when I first got iRacing, this is back in like 2015 ish.
God, I wasn't even born yet.
Shut up. Okay, but he was talking all this mad shit because he drives like a Subaru Impreza, I think, something like that. And he used to talk all this mad shit. And he's like, "Man, I could do that. I could wax you and da 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 da." And he picked the Glen because he was familiar with it, and he couldn't keep the damn car on the track. So it's like, quit running unless you know. Because
Shut up.
granted, yeah, a lot of people know like sim racing is sim racing. It's not real racing. I get it, but the definition of racing doesn't have to be in the real world. Racing is racing. I mean, that you have dogs racing, horses racing, cars racing. Why can't we race this way?
The
My
thing
heart
is,
is racing.
The
Little bit of
thing
pass.
is, it's a competitive sport. You're racing something, whether it's a car on the computer, a car in real life. I mean, the reality is that
It's all about
people don't-
competition, you know.
Yeah, and the thing is yes, is the computerized car exactly the same as a real car? No.
Nope.
Can you be the best real life driver and get on a game and be the best driver? Is that relevant? Maybe not. But at the end of the day, the thing with the computer that real life will never have is a fixed setup race on here is by far the closest you can get to having the same equipment outside of whatever input device you have to put it in with.
Yep.
Whereas in real life, we all know fixed series, there's always some sort of cheating, modification, whatever that goes on. It's just not ever completely, just absolutely bone stock the same car as the next guy.
Well, I feel like that's what NASCAR is almost getting to. I mean, you can still
They're
adjust a
trying.
lot.
They're
Yeah.
trying.
It's a lot
Yeah.
closer, yeah.
And I actually like that because I love seeing, like, I'm sorry, I would have been ecstatic if Corey LaJoy won in Atlanta earlier this year.
Yeah.
I mean, to see a bottom underdog come in and do that, fantastic.
I want to see any type of racing. I want to see the guys that are good win because they are the best driver, not because they just have the best equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at the point standings: Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney,
You still
Ross
have your
Chastain,
commons. Yep.
Denny Hamlin, Joey
But
Logano,
see,
Kyle Larson.
Well, they
You
were
know,
in the best
that's the
equipment because
thing,
they are
though.
good.
no, I know, but it's. I do think it is much more level, but I think that the top teams are still the top teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
They
think
have the best drivers, they have the best equipment, they have the best research.
exactly the biggest thing that it shows the consistency proves that those guys are the best overall drivers all around. These other guys might be really good at one day, not the
Yeah.
best the next, but it still shows this is how they made it to this level of the sport, not just because, now, this is not necessarily the case, but with the way they're going, it could get to the point where you're hiring the guys that can drive because they need to be that good, not just, oh, I've got a purse that says, yeah, or a blank checkbook, and I'll fill out whatever you want to pay, to drive your car.
Yep.
I think I just sent you something, Kev.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I meant to
Hey,
send it to
who's
everybody.
who's the pick for this weekend's win?
Oh man.
Let's run it down. Right, so Chase Elliott's the only one locked in, I believe.
And I almost got to give it to Chase because he's been good.
Where are they racing?
Roble.
Roval.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with 24 car.
Ah, really? I can't give it to him.
I'm giving it to him.
Greg, what do you got?
He's 10th in points and 8 advance. I think his teammates will help him. I think he's motivated.
I would like to say Kyle Larson. I don't I don't know if I'm confident in that choice, but he's been good there before.
So all three of us looking at Hendrick this weekend.
Boom.
Yeah. I mean, I
So-
still got. I'm not a huge fan of Chase, but I gotta pick him. I feel
I'm
like
changing my pick to Bubba Wallace.
well because I did. Yeah.
Nah,
I cannot give it to Bubba either. So
But is Allmendinger racing?
the dinger is, I believe.
Yeah, so you
Oh,
know he's
We do have a few. We do have a few ringers. We got Connor Daly. We've got Marco's running an Xfinity car. Marco Andretti, and then there's somebody
the
else.
ringers don't really.
they don't perform.
Yeah, not recently. In the past they were. I don't know if a ringer ever won a race.
Well, I feel
honestly,
like
but
they're good at road courses, but you throw them in a stock car and it's completely different.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's a good question. I don't think a ringer has one until they've run like a full season. Because they ran well at a road course, they got a full-time ride, and then maybe they won the next year.
Yeah, like Marcos Ambrose or somebody like that, you know.
Exactly.
But
Allmendinger, one of them.
but those were full-time guys, you know. So
Yeah, but that, like I said, they
yeah,
started as a ringer and then ended up
yeah,
full-time because
I mean,
yeah.
we got Daniel Kvyat is back, and then Loris Hensmans. We got from Netherlands and Russia there.
How about Allmendinger getting a full-time ride next year in NASCAR in a Cup Series?
Fantastic.
Yeah, he's such a good dude, man.
Yeah, I like Allmendinger. I felt
It's
bad
just
when
I
he
hope
lost
the
his
team
ride.
is good enough for him.
Yeah, I felt bad when he lost his ride with Penske back years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember too much about it. I know he popped hot for something, but I think it was a part of a supplement.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't remember.
It's been a while.
have I brought up the question before as to what's going to happen with the charter that Childress is supposed to be leasing for Reddick next year after that's done?
Oh, I think it goes away. Like they're not planning on filling that spot.
But does that charter? So if that charter is getting leased, first of all, who is he leasing it from, and what happens in 2024 with that charter that's not leased anymore? Because what I was curious about with that, and I'm super surprised nobody's talked about it. Junior has been very vocal about the fact that he and
I mean Kelly.
Kelly wanted to move their team to Cup, and there's obviously a charter that is going to be open at some level come 2024.
That's an interesting idea. Like,
Yeah, and I don't know exactly how all those rules work, you know.
well, I know there's a manufacturer loyalty there, but I mean DEI or not DEI. I'm sorry, Junior Motorsports. My bad. Weighed heavily in the background of Hendrick, but yet he could have gotten it from RCR. Could get it.
I mean, that's what I was thinking about before. Is that Junior's been more connected with Hendrick than his dad was connected with Childress, but there's still a pretty strong family bond there, I bet.
Well, I mean NASCAR's turned into a sport that everybody knows everybody. You are family, and the only way to get in is to be part of it already, pretty much. So,
Exactly.
or at least have the shit ton of money to do it.
I don't know. Just one of those things I thought about when the whole Kyle Busch thing was going on. Everybody was just, yep, there's a charter for Reddit, and nobody really talked about the fact of what happens to that charter after.
Yeah, or where it even came from, really.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. I thought Childress was buying it, and apparently he's leasing it, but I don't know where he's leasing it from. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
good. He may not have announced that yet either.
It's fun doing these things late at night.
Hey, real quick, I'm reading. It says NASCAR charter system began in 2016. Teams that own charters are allowed to compete in every NASCAR Cup Series points-paying race, and thus guaranteed to earn a portion of the purse. There are 36 charters that are owned by teams. Teams may sell their charters to other owners or transfer them to another team for a set amount of time. So that would be the lease thing. So if you lease, let's say they lease one from whatever team, at the end of the year, it goes back to that team.
So it could have been Hendrick.
Yeah.
And it says with NASCAR field set at 40 cars, This means 36 charter teams are joined by a maximum of 4 open teams that must qualify to compete in any given race.
Yeah, and I know that the charter would go back. I'm just more or less saying what happens if that team's willing to lease that charter now. Who's to say? Who are they going to lease it to next, or who are they going to sell it to if Junior comes in and wants to make
Right.
a cup team?
Yep.
Hey, you guys want to buy a charter?
Let's do it.
Let's do
And
that.
that's the other part. How much does it cost? So does Junior have the financing that Richard Childress has? I don't know.
I really only need to keep one kidney, so.
Look, you got to wait to buy the charter until they run this electric prototype race
Oh shit.
at Daytona, and then the price drops. As soon as the price hits rock bottom, buy in.
If NASCAR goes electric, that'll be a sad day for me. I like the sound, man. It's part of it.
It's gonna happen. I mean, GM's not making electric motors past I don't know, what is it, 2028 or something?
And that's why the cool people don't buy GM.
Yeah, but Chevy's a big part of racing. That's the one problem that all of us Ford people have. Chevy is the powerhouse of racing. They've.
Wait! I didn't hear what you said. Say it again.
I said Chevy's the powerhouse for racing.
Wait! Say it again. No, I'm kidding.
If everybody would just, take their General Motors car and throw it into a guardrail, we'd be fine.
I mean, whatever you do,
Yeah.
if you're not a Chevy fan, don't look up how many wins Chevy has compared to the other manufacturers in NASCAR. Just don't do it.
Yeah, well, when there's nothing else to compete against you.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little bit of a lopsided argument there when there's 6 or 5 Fords and there's now there's 9 at least.
Hasn't always been that way. I'm talking history.
Yeah,
Yeah. Back when they had Pontiacs and Buicks.
Back when they had Hudson Hornets and shit.
Yep. All through time.
Well, guys, I think tonight we got to wrap this thing up. We've been,
yeah, man.
This has been a good
tomorrow.
one.
Yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow if we don't stop.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you guys for coming. Both of you, thank you for helping me with this, and I'm more than proud to have you guys a part of this. And we're moving on to another chapter here. 1111
Yes,
Veterans Project. Thank you guys. Thank you all.
We'll call that. Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a good night.
You too.
We'll see you guys later. Join us Friday again. Sunday, I'm going to the race. Monday, I will not be able to stream. Going to have some family here, but we will see you guys next week. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow, and help us help out a family here in need. We sponsor the race next Friday. You guys got to watch it. If you guys want to watch it in car, follow it on my channel. If you want to watch the race itself, look for One to Go Studios. They're going to be broadcasting the race live on YouTube. You guys have yourself a great night. Great week.